Reports state that Israel's military said it would capture 75% of Gaza in 2 months as part of a major new ground offensive against Hamas. Israel, as you know, has recently escalated airstrikes and aims to confine Gaza's 2 million population into an area amounting to 25% of the Strip. This is what reports assert. This as the territory's population is at risk of famine. Humanitarian groups have been warned already. They've been warning the West as well, with many criticizing a new US-sponsored aid delivery system run by contractors with obscure histories and unknown financial backers, as per analysts. The United Nations chief, meanwhile, has said Israel is now letting in a teaspoon of aid. And as per a report, one woman said that she and her 9 children had just a single meal a day to share last week. To get in an expert's view on the current circumstances and the current situation, we have with us James Bowden. James, as always, thank you so much for joining us live on NDTV. Israel now says it aims to seize 75% of Gaza in just 2 months. How do you actually interpret this timeline militarily and politically? And what does it signal to regional powers?
Well, obviously, Israel is trying to surge resources in order to wrap up the conflict. I think that they're watching the international community losing patience, moving towards sanctions and even harder steps. And so they're wanting to complete it. Now, whether they can finish it in that 2-month period, I think that they can. I think that they will get very close to that. They are going to be able to capture a substantial portion of the ground. I really do, though, believe that they should be concentrating underground. But as far as the 2 months are concerned, yes, they can definitely do that.
Right, James. Meanwhile, we're given to understand that airstrikes have intensified, but the ground gains remain slow in comparison. What does this actually suggest about the IDF's evolving battlefield calculus against Hamas?
I really don't see a strategy here. A lot of the so-called airstrikes are just very random building leveling. That's all that they're basically doing. I don't see anything that's precise or well targeted. Hamas is actually underground. They're just waiting this campaign out as Israel captures the ground. So what the calculus is not 100% clear. I think that it's just grabbing land, securing it. Eventually, they may go underground and engage Hamas down there. But again, as far as an overall strategy, I've not seen any.
And given the sheer scale of displacement, the sheer scale of hunger, the warnings that have been coming in from humanitarian groups, James, what do you make of the silence or limited response from key Arab states so far?
Well, there's a dirty little secret in the Middle East, and that is that many of the Arab states in that region really do want Hamas out of the way, because Hamas is a branch of the Muslim Brotherhood, which is an organization that many of the countries in the Middle East that have more open societies have tried to suppress. And so in one way, they don't want to have as much death and civilian injury, but in reality, they do want to deal with Hamas and eliminate it as a group. And so they're walking this very fine tightrope where they've got to appease the majority of the people in their region, but they've also got to see through the final or the completion of their foreign policy position.
Right. Well, as James is highlighting, many Arab states in the region, they do want Hamas out of the way. But James, if Israel achieves this territorial control as they claim to, many are seriously wondering what the day after will look like for Gaza and who will actually govern the rubble.
Yes, and I think that it's very unfortunate, because I think it will be more than a 2-year period before we actually come to a solution as to who will be running the Gaza Strip. My organization, Near East Observers, has long been championing a call for a U.S. administrated, but really on the ground 24/7 occupation by 3 different countries with a majority Muslim contingent, which we would hope would eliminate a lot of the possibilities for terrorism and misunderstanding. So it is, but it's going to be a long process. And this has been one of our central worries because we have seen this before and we're already watching it as the different countries kick the can down the road and everyone says, well, you broke it, you bought it. No, it's your responsibility. And the Gazan people are suffering in the midst of that.
Well, James, as always, thank you so much for joining us with your crucial views. We will, of course, revert to you for regular updates